At this pivotal time in humanity's evolution, we are beginning to remember our organic technology. A technology, when used correctly, can create an experience that the majority of the people the world over want to live. It is time to use this technology consciously for our own benefit and healing, and no longer unconsciously for our own demise. We are divine creators, creating both our own personal experience and our collective experience moment to moment. We invite you to join us as we reawaken this technology through experiment and experience our power to create and manifest. Become part of the 3%. Welcome, everyone, to the first anniversary show of the Collective Imagination. And guys, congratulations. I think we more than achieved our initial goal of 3%. At the very least, energetically, is how it feels. But before we start the party, let's bring on Brian and Bob. Welcome, Bob.
Hello, Lisa. Hello, everyone in the chat room. And it doesn't seem possible.
I know.
It's been a whole year. It's just crazy. Wow. What a year it's been.
I know. And a lot of those people in the chat room and those listening have been with us from the beginning. And thank you so much for hanging in there with us and taking the ride with us. It's been extraordinary. So welcome, Brian.
Unmute, Brian.
He's lurking in the background. We know he is. Or he's run off to get something. Brian!
Or he took my nephew's meditation seriously.
That could have happened too. Wow. We thought about different ways of celebrating today, and we're going to play some of the songs that we've played over the course of the past year that have been really, really joyful moments on this show, as well as one or two snippets out of the past year of audios that we've got. But we really want to hear from you guys too, so please call in. We want to hear from you. Initially, in this first hour, we're going to look back over the last year. And in the second hour, we'll look forward to the coming year. And we really want to hear from you.
Going back through the whole year. And, oh my goodness. It seems the transformation along the way. You know, I've found my family. I found myself. I redefined myself. I undefined myself. And then I just was being. And I cannot tell everyone how much we appreciate you guys, and watching the audience change, the questions change, the issues change, the world change. Oh, God. You know, this year has been the most transformative year, bar none, of my entire life. And I've always been weird. You know? I
But now you're amongst friends.
Yes.
We're all weird.
I'm not weird.
Oh, you're weird. Don't even go there.
It's hard to say that without laughing. I'm incredibly weird, but I feel you, Bob. I would have never, you can never imagine or try to predict how much growth that you will undergo in 1 year, but I think this past year I've probably grown more than the previous 10 combined. And, you know, we probably speak for so many, because it seems everybody you talk to are just kind of blown away and baffled by how much they've changed. You know, every single part of my life has changed in the last year, and it's just to be able to share in those growth experiences. I haven't been around since the beginning of the Collective Imagination. I've only been around since January, and when I came in, you guys had already had just a really beautiful thing established, I knew it was something special just based on the discussions that were we were having right out of the gate because of everything that was going on. But to think that you guys have been doing this for a year, I mean, shoot, that's an accomplishment. I can't even imagine how long it must have seemed for you guys now to say that it's been a year. I have to imagine it's probably completely flown by. Lisa?
On the one hand, yeah, it's gone really, really fast. But in another way, it feels like I've been doing this forever. And this show, more than any other that I've ever been involved with, it's not just a radio show for me. It's a space and a space that's been created to just be in and share in every week. And the honesty, the transparency, the open-heartedness of everyone who participates, whether it's on air, whether it's through calling in, whether it's in the chat room, whether it's just, sharing on the Facebook page, whatever it is, whichever way people have chosen to participate, we've all touched each other so beautifully. And Bob's right. It's, he's found his family, so have I. And everyone listening is a member of that family. I've got a really large extended family now. And it feels amazing. And when you get messages from people from these far-flung areas of the world that you never thought you'd have a connection with, and they say that they tune into the shows every week, maybe it's just to hear Bob's soothing voice or to get a dose of upliftment and feel connected. It's just extraordinary. It's beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
So this journey for me over the last year in particular with this show has been, it's forced me in a way to walk my talk, because I get on here and I feel this is my space to be completely vulnerable and open.
Mm.
And you can't turn around then and get off air and go, well, that was that, and then live your life differently. It's sort of, yeah, that's what it's done, I guess. Made me walk my talk. And really, go.
Go ahead, Lisa. Finish off.
No, go.
I was going to say, I since kind of opening up my Reiki business and doing distance work with people, I get to talk to people from all over the country and various parts of the world, and it's all too frequently that that I speak to people and they say, I would feel so alone if I didn't have you guys to tune into every week, because it's not, the types of discussions that we have on this show. These are the kinds of talks that a lot of people, they don't necessarily have friends or family in their life that they can have these kinds of talks openly and honestly without being judged. And it's the fact that they have this as a resource, our Monday night show, our Tuesday night show, and everything else the 5D Media Network is doing now with the entourage of shows that you produce here. But it's to hear that people say that I would feel so alone and lost if it wasn't for the community, because people feel, they don't need to call in, they don't need to be on the panel of hosts. Just listening in every week, I get emails and Facebook messages that just from people just wanting to open up their hearts in gratitude and for this space that has been created. And this wouldn't be a space that has been created if it wasn't for everybody that tunes in and listens in. It would just be Bob, Brian, and Lisa having a chit chat.
Exactly.
And there's nothing wrong with that, but it's the audience and it's everybody that tunes in every week or listens to the archive. You don't have to listen in live. That creates the magic that we have here. And I love the Want People show, but there's something about the Collective Imagination show from the very beginning that has the kind of vibration that makes you feel like you're at home. And anything and everything can be said without judgment or ridicule, and it's special because you don't really, even for me, I mean, yes, I have, I've got lots of discussions that are going on, in my life, and Facebook or in various groups or what have you. But the type of openness and authenticity, and with all the various opinions and perspectives that are contributed here, it's really just something that's totally unique and totally special. And it really is just an honor to be a part of it. But I find myself just so incredibly grateful for all of the love, because you have what you have with all the people that listen into the show. That I think the common ground, the common bond, the common reoccurring theme across the board is that everybody is just this walking example of love and grace and compassion, and nobody's perfect. Of course, everybody's got things they're working on or what have you, but that theme is so prevalent, and it really it just adds such a unique blessing to my life to be able to come back here and do this every week. And I haven't missed a whole lot of shows, but when I miss it, I'm like, I missed the Collective Agitation show. But it is such a beautiful creation, and it's only just beginning in a lot of ways, because everything that we've experienced for the past year, we can only assume as things are always changing and as things are quickening and undergoing incredible transformation in every moment, what the next year is going to bring. But shoot, the last 6 months have been absolutely, completely, and undeniably phenomenal by every stretch of the imagination. Just a gift.
But it's funny, Linda just said in the chat room that she hates it when 3D invades her 5D listening time. And someone else said, I missed the name though, that she can't imagine not being in the chat room and sharing the love, with these shows. And you can feel it. I mean, you guys are awesome in there. We see it. The way you support one another, and the way you all smother the shills in love until they leave. It's a beautiful thing to watch.
Incredible.
Yeah.
And the other thing about this show is that we sort of touched on it briefly yesterday, how it's become a launch pad for so many other things. When we started this show on this network a year ago, we had Michael Monk and Peter Shelton with us for several months, and it acted as a launch pad for them. And they went off and started their own program and their own shows every week with their own network. It's now happened again with Chris. He's expanding and moving to a different network so that he can expand that even more. The shows that have come along and joined us at this network, we've got Judy and Brian doing their Enjoy show, which is, it's a joy, that show, to be a part of. And that show is now acting as a launch pad for Judy herself. She wants to take the Enjoy on the road, basically. And I'll give you a little spiel of what she's told me. That she feels totally inspired to take Enjoy the show out on the road. Her mission is to hold in-person group conversations to assist the one people everywhere in the understanding of who they are as eternal essence embodied absent limits. These conversations will have a wide range of topics and will all be driven by the energy of what is needed. She will share the success stories of those who have been the pioneers and are dozing the path for the rest of us. She'll offer any tools needed and talk about what is unfolding in front of us and why, dispelling fears and uncertainty of what might seem to be chaos. She'll share about all of the worldwide communities springing up for healing centres, educational facilities, and how what is rising as the phoenix is not out there, but within, encouraging each community to begin to adjust mindsets, and in so doing, the reflections of those mindsets. It's time to embrace the joy of freedom, and that's where she's at. And she had an experience the other night in a sports bar with, I've been into the odd sports bar, I know the clientele alike, and having a conversation with a group of younger guys and completely blowing their minds, And for her to take what she knows and take it into small communities, small towns around the country, and start having these conversations. I know from personal experience of going up to the Sydney meetups or to the Gold Coast one last week that there's nothing beats being in Dead City with a group of people like this. I mean, as much fun and everything as the shows are, it just doesn't beat face to face. And so, good luck, Judy. I mean, all the best. And if anybody's out there who's on the East Coast of the States who'd like to, host a meeting at their place or can offer her some accommodation for a couple of days, contribute in any way to what she wants to try and do here, you can send her an email at judyjandora@gmail.com. And she's also started up her own blog, which is Judy's Journey of Joy.blogspot.com. I'll put those links into the chat room. So if you'd like to help Judy out and get her on the road, but I've seen this show and this network act as a launch pad for so many things over the last year, and it's all about expansion, and it feels great to be a part of it. Bob, you're being really quiet.
Well, congratulations, Judy. I'm glad that I heard about your Enjoy the Show tour through Lisa live on the Collective Imagination show. So we'll talk about that later. It's okay. I love you anyway. I love you anyways. Go ahead, Bob.
As her co-host, I'm sure you would have been brought up to speed very shortly.
Yeah. I'm sure we will. Judy and I will have a talk. That's for sure. I'm just kidding, Judy. Go ahead.
I just am amazed at the audience and how many people I've watched just literally transform. I mean, it's amazing how the conversations change. To what you were concerned about and what was so pressing and dire a year ago to where we are right now. And for me, it's been you already said all the best parts, Lisa. It's not fair.
Oh, did I? Oh, sorry. We want to hear from you guys too. So ring in if you can. We'd love to hear about what the last year has meant for you, the journey that you've been on. So we've got a couple of people with their hand up, so go finish, Bob. Sorry, I interrupted.
No, for me, it's just been an amazing journey. It's been the most incredible journey. I wouldn't have imagined, myself in this position 5 years ago. I wouldn't have imagined some of the things that have happened, that I've watched happen, and some of the amazing people that I've gotten to talk with and to share ideas with and to laugh with and cry with. The level of the conversations that I can have with all of you guys, it's incredible. It's so, people wonder, sometimes you don't get to see the time to reflect on how you got from point A to point B. Someone asks, well, how did you do it? And you have to stop and think, well, I really just kind of happened. Somewhere along the way, there was this transformation internally that we all shared with each other, and we all did it together. We all shared our troubles, our concerns, our ideas for solutions, and I've never felt so much like I'm with family. Because even when I'm with my family, it's not like this. It's
when the show started, we started with the premise that the collective imagination is a technology. Our imaginations are a technology that we have lost faith in or lost the true meaning and power of. and that if we come together with intent and love and in kickstart that collective imagination off again, we can create amazing things. And that was the premise of the show. Each and every week we would come up with an intention, we'd go into a meditation, and we would manifest, create something for that following week. And we were seeing the evidence. We would share the photos and the updates and the evidence that came into focus for us on the Facebook page. And that was amazing. And we got to a point, I really do believe we got to a point for the majority of people participating where their belief and their knowing of the technology within was done. And as we got closer to the end of the year, we set intent about what we wanted the following year to look like. How did we want 2013 to unfold? What was the end result? And we didn't get tied into the mechanics of it or the how-tos, just focused on the image of the end result. And then everything did change at the end of the year, as we all know.
Well,
and it was all like took a big deep breath and just went, "Hey, we did it."
It went from believing we can do it till we were actually doing it. When I talk about changing conversations, if you listen to some of our conversations, that we have with each other,
yeah.
If anyone were to come from the outside that didn't know us or didn't know what we were up to, they'd think we were probably insane. Oh yes, I went into the astral realm, and I was speaking with all these galactics, and the energy there was this color and that color, and I did this and I did that. Well, this is the conversations we're having,
Oh, and I had a dream last night, and you were there, and you were there, and you were there.
You were there.
You feel like you're straight out of the Wizard of Oz. Yeah.
And some of the information that's just been coming in. I mean, from last year, my whole concept of who and where we are and what we came from, and the whole idea of us versus them and the roles that we all play is so different now. So very, very different, the way that I see the world, the way that I see, I've become very, very peaceful.
Okay, when I ask those people in the chat room, maybe they can just type it in. Have your concepts of who we are, where we come from, and the structure of the matrix that we live in, has that changed? Or has it been confirmed for you? Or, what's going on for you when it comes to all of that? Be interested to see. Because we've had so much validation. Okay, someone said validation. It's how can I explain it? I mean, there's been so much new language put into the vernacular, and it's language that, in and of itself, seems to reveal so much.
It does. Well, it's a direct link to the energy that's within us. There's a scripture in the Bible, and I keep saying this: out of the abundance of the heart does the mouth speak. So whatever is inside, if you're changing inside, there's just certain words that that I normally use in my conversation that suddenly just has this completely different energy. It leaves a bad taste in your mouth, and I don't use those words anymore. Because they don't resonate anymore. These, and when I hear other people using them, I'm like, you can see and feel the vibration of it.
I think what we've gone through is a process of remembering what we've always known, and then when you have that moment of remembering, you go, I've always known it. How could I have never not known that?
And it's hard to even remember back to a time where you didn't know that and what you could have possibly been thinking. Did you guys ever see that Tom Spasiak documentary? He's the guy that created all the Jim Carrey movies, the I Am documentary.
Oh, I did see that ages ago when it first came out.
Yeah, I did too.
He has a line in the trailer of that movie that does a really good job at summarizing kind of the biggest shift that's happened for me. And he says he went out on a journey to figure out what was wrong with the world and how he could fix it, and he came back discovering what was right with it. And that's really the kind of one of the big ways my own perspective changed is, I spent the first couple years on my, awakening, just waking up to, all the videos that Carrie Cassidy put out with Project Camelot and the Illuminati and the Black Ops programs and all the deep dark secrets of the United States of America Corporation, all those things, just filling my head with all of those things, thinking, oh my God, how is any of this ever going to get fixed? And it wasn't like I was ever a fear monger or doom and gloomer or thought the world was going to end or any of those kinds of things, but I looked at it from the perspective of the shit's so messed up, I don't see how it could possibly all get fixed unless there is some ascension type mass awakening type of event that changes that flips the whole script. Well, that event may not have happened yet. I believe that it will, but I look at the world now through a different set of lenses. I don't see everything as being broken. I don't see myself being a subject to someone else's oppression. I don't see myself as living in a world filled with fear and filled with hate. I just don't see the world through those lenses anymore. I see the world as a beautiful place where the most special component is the people and the animals and nature, and that inherently at the core of our being and our hearts we are all compassionate and loving beings. And I see that now wherever I go, and if something creeps in to try to sway me, then I have the ability to spot it and reconcile it in that moment to where I can even look at that as an opportunity for growth and understanding. And
I absolutely agree with you. I do not see anything as broken. Nothing is broken. It's all perfect. What did you say, Bob, before? That it's all unfolding perfectly?
Yeah. The universe knows what it's doing.
Yep. Let's take a call. See, we've got a few here with their hand up. We've got area code 724.
Hello.
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 Hello. Hey, this is Mary.
Hi, Mary.
Hey, Mary.
Hey. So glad to get on. Wow, that was a great song. Great song, and I was dancing.
Yeah, me too.
Well, I just wanted to share with you for this special day. I'm so glad all of you are there, and I'm here. And I've been right along for a long, long time, it seems. And even though this has only been going on for this space of time, I've felt connected for long, long years. So there's some very odd things, connections, I mean, in my mind, between myself and all of you. And I don't know if everybody who shares in your audience feels that same connection. But that beach party that you all were planning some time ago, it's got to happen. It's got to happen. Wow, I can't wait. I hope soon.
I feel very soon, in fact.
Yes.
As do I.
Yeah. Cool.
Mary, where are you from?
I'm in Pennsylvania.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I'm not too far.
Boston, Pennsylvania.
Yep.
Yes, I'm just a few hours from him. And I had Angel Lucy here in the earlier July. That was fun.
Oh, how was that?
Oh, it was wonderful.
I had him here as well.
Yes, that's right. I told him that I was so excited that he got to meet you. You guys were together. That's so cool. But he did a wonderful, wonderful presentation for us. I actually got to do two with him because there's a friend in Pittsburgh, not far from me, that also hosted him. So I'm open to host, and I would love to meet Judy. I hope that happens. I'm not actually on the East Coast, but maybe she'll come my way.
I'm sure she will.
There you go, Judy.
So there's one offer for her. Well, blessings to everyone. Hopefully we'll share some good old stories when we see each other on the beach.
I want to know from Mary what the biggest transformation that's happened for you in the last year.
Oh, being able to connect with all of you and the rest of this huge circle of people, listeners and chatters and presenters and all of those wonderful beings, and to hear you talking, to hear you speaking my thoughts and feeling the same energy, knowing that it's true. And for so long not having anyone to share that with, that's a big transformation. That's a big kick up for me.
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
There seems to be a lot of people in the chat room from Pennsylvania who would love to get in touch with you. So do you have an email address? Or?
Cool. Yes, I do.
Do you want to share it?
Well, I don't. I think what I'll do is post it somewhere so that I can snag
post it
those
on the
people.
5D Facebook page.
Yeah, that would work for me.
Okay, great.
All right.
So
well, carry on.
Or a contact for Mary. Thank you for calling in, Bill.
Yes. Have a good one.
Thank you. Bye.
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 That seems to be, a common theme, isn't it? That the space that we've created is, and I mean that collectively, like everybody involved, has, given everyone a space to come and connect with so many others and share the journey with. I think what you said before, Bob, is really, really true, that so many of us don't have people in our immediate families or environments to have these conversations with. And, now they can, whether it's just in a chat room once a week or whether they've connected. Most of you guys have connected with each other outside of these shows, obviously, on Facebook or whatever. And, I know that there are long-time friendships.
I've heard a couple comments. People say that they feel like they're leading double lives.
Yeah.
Because they hear with the conversations that we have collectively, they can be their true, authentic selves, and when they're out in the world, whether at work or with family or with friends, they have to put on a mask, and they're not able to express themselves freely with everything they're real. And I think that probably goes for every single one of us. I'm more comfortable now than I once was in just putting it out there. And if people vibe with what I have to say, cool. And if they don't, that's cool too. There's no fear of judgment anymore. I really don't care if people think that I'm batshit crazy or the coolest kid on the block. It doesn't really matter. But a lot of people have told me that this is where they feel like they are being the most authentic and genuine and truest selves, which is interesting.
But you know how that wearing those masks can get really, really uncomfortable, and I think more and more we're coming to a space where we're not prepared to settle for that discomfort anymore. It's not.
Right.
It's not good enough. And
exactly.
Whether it means leaving your job, or leaving a relationship, or moving across the country or across the world, so that you can be authentic all of the time, that's what people are doing. As scary as that may have felt 6 months ago or 12 months ago, it's now the alternative of continuing to wear that mask and divide their time and their life and their energies between being authentic and wearing the mask. That's the scarier, intolerable place to be now.
Well, you know what? I've also seen a transformation in the way that we perceive ourselves. I mean, at one point, everyone was looking for something outside of themselves to change, to make their lives better, whether it be the receipt of these RV packages or, accessing our collateral accounts or the big disclosure, first contact, and then that would change everything. And then it was, 2012. There's going to be an energetic shift, and then everything's going to change. To, we're the ones, we can do it. Let's pull ourselves together. We've always been the ones we've been waiting for. And taking on the responsibility of all of those other aforementioned external things. We've taken on the responsibility of the event, the galactics, of all of it, of our entire experience here on Earth, and owned it. And I have to say, you've risen to the occasion. You've done it. You've literally, the conversation that I had with the banker the other day, that felt so good.
I bet it did.
Because there was no way that anyone could convince me by any words or deed of who I wasn't. I knew where the value was coming from, and I know who I am. And it's so, I'm like, just like you said, how could I have thought? How could I have thought any other way? It was coming to love yourself unconditionally. Coming to love yourself unconditionally. That's what happened. And it allowed me to love everything unconditionally. To give love where others would say, "Ooh," because to understand and see the purpose, the perfection in everything, in every situation. It is, like Heather said, it's hard to claim damages, this declaration of damages that she's been working on forever, which will probably never get done because of the fact that, in retrospect, of understanding and the growth that all of the perceived pain and suffering has wrought within myself, within everybody that I know on the panel, you can't really say that you were damaged, because what I discovered was my strength. What I discovered was my power. What I discovered was my true self. And just like my soul, that is priceless. There's no price that you could possibly say that it was worth. It's priceless, and it was worth every moment. I've gone back now, and it's hard to look back at my life and feel sorry or feel resentment or anger or guilt anymore. I look back at my life and I marvel at how perfect it was. How perfect I put lessons and designed scenarios for myself to wake myself up so that I would recognize myself. And it's, now we talk about the absolute plan, and that I was part of it. I got to play my part in the absolute plan, and we all are playing our parts. And I didn't know I was playing a part, but now that I know that I'm playing a part, I'm not playing anymore. I'm just being. You go from acting to actually being. All the things that you were pretending, they just go away.
Wow, Bob, that was extremely well said. When I was listening to Heather talk about that part where she was talking about claiming damages, and for anybody that don't know what we're talking about, she's been working on this set of documents. If everybody can remember from the UCC filings, as far as the $5 billion for every soul that's been taken from us, and an additional $5 billion if somebody claims damages. And this damages document, she's having a lot of trouble with, because how can she claim damages when those that she's claiming the damages against played their parts so perfectly when it came to fulfilling their end of what needed to take place with situations, circumstances, events, and doings that ultimately led all of existence to where it is now, to where we have the ability to take the leap that to where we're headed. And I totally agree. Applying that to my own life, just like you, Bob, is I look back and I have no animosity, ill will, or resentment to anybody in my life, because those people I now see as my greatest teachers. Those people that because ultimately it's our own. If we decide that we are damaged or defeated or broken or hurt, we're essentially giving another the power over us to make us feel that way. Whether or not we walk away from it feeling that way is a personal choice of how we perceive to define it. But when you are able to, and that's Bob, it gave me chills when you were just talking right there, because that's been a huge shift for me as well, and I know many others, and probably almost if not everybody in the chat room. And I know it's something that still a lot of people are working on, but when you have the ability to go through your life as if it is a dance, as if it is a symphony, as if everything that comes into your space is designed to be there for some purpose, some part and parcel of the absolute plan, then it matters not what happens in our life. We are always going to perceive it as an opportunity as opposed to some kind of a hindrance. You know, it's funny when you can laugh at a situation when you get a flat tire on the freeway, or when you get your luggage lost in Africa, or when you get into an argument with someone that you care about, and you can look at the situation and you can laugh at it and say, wow, what is there to learn from that situation? How can I grow now? And that's a gift. And it's a gift of the present moment, and your ability to use discernment in the present moment to evaluate your surroundings at all times, to where you do not have to ever play the victim mentality, or the one that is broken, or the one that is damaged. And that's a gift beyond measure. You cannot buy that wisdom with all the gold and all the vaults of the world. It's just, you have to get there on your own.
Hey, Yoda Bob, I think your Padawan is ready. I think you just graduated.
I got a lot of work to do. Yeah, no, Bob is the guru here.
No. I was just going to say, you know, Heather, it reminds me of that song that Heather is always playing, that Pink song, that we're not broken, just bent, and we can learn to love again. You know, we're not broken. That was, you know, what a relief it is to find out that there's nothing wrong with you.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, really, people carry this around with them, you know, sometimes their whole lives. They just hate themselves. They don't fit in. They're not enough of whatever it is they think they're not enough of. And to find out and have it proven in front of you that no, you were perfect and there was nothing wrong with you. And then you stop feeling bad about who you are. And you start to see, you know, and it's such a an internal experience that's really hard to, but anyone who's gone through it knows exactly what I'm talking about. You know, how your view of the world just completely changed, and you interact differently with other people. Your interactions are just completely different. You don't have, you know, there's no matter what they throw at you, it doesn't Does it?
Water off a duck's back.
Yeah. And I've watched lots of drama, unfold, but that's all it is. It's me watching drama. I do that in my spare time when
It's not yours. You don't get attached to it.
Right. It's not my drama. It's just drama that's unfolding, and I understand why. And I find that I'm not so much trying to interfere with everything that's going on around me. Don't feel like I have to fix everything except for my own state of being. I realize that, there's no experience that's out of place.
Yeah, getting to a place of trusting that is huge. Bob, can you just give Jerry a call, add it to this call? We've got Jerry, guys, who's going to come in and give us one of her amazing poems. Woo! Woo-hoo! But you need to call her in.
Okay. Let's see.
I've added her to this conversation, but I can't actually call her because you started it.
Okay, I'm bringing her now.
Here she is. Hey, Jerry.
Hi there.
Hey, Jerry.
Hi, hello there.
Jerry!
I'm here.
It's
How
you!
are you? I am absolutely bloody awesome.
Jerry, when are you not absolutely bloody awesome?
Actually, not very often. It's very lucky.
I don't think that's love.
Yeah. Well, you see, I have Chippy to keep me chipper because he's always chipper. So, when he's chipper and smiling those big shiny eyes at me, you can't do anything except giggle.
Giggling is not allowed on this show.
Oh, no.
Giggle-free zone.
I better put sellotape over my mouth then.
I think he'd still figure it out.
Yeah. Yeah, you can actually giggle with your mouth shut.
Yeah, it makes you shoot snot out of your nose, though. It's not fun.
Oh, don't get me started.
Oh, wow. All right, what do you got for us, Jerry?
Well, I actually wanted to share this one last night because everyone was so impressed with Bob talking to the bank manager and staying right in his power. And I wrote this really brilliant poem a while back for a friend of mine, but I just use it for myself all the time. She was sort of getting a little bit sort of downtrodden by her husband and stuff. And I said, I'm going to write something for you. So I wrote the first verse, and then it ended up being 4. And it's really brilliant. So anybody can use this, but if you don't happen to be lucky enough to be a woman, you just have to put the word person in where I say woman. All right? You got that?
Mm-hmm.
Got it. Okay. It's called I Feel It. I feel it, I know it, and all can see there is no woman stronger than me. I speak my truth, I'm in my power. I feel it every minute of every hour. I feel it every hour of every day. I feel it strongly in every way. I feel it every day and all week long. I feel in my power and oh so strong. I feel it in every week, and for myself I always speak. I do it each week of every month because I have so much powerful strength. I feel it each month of every year. There is not one single thing to fear. I feel it all year and forevermore, and upon this strength I can always draw. Makes you feel really powerful.
Awesome.
You're going to like a meeting and you're sort of all nervous because I'm that sort of person. I mean, I'm getting there and much more brave than I used to be, but my heart gets ramming and I'm all sort of, and so if I pound that out, I'm like, now I'm in my power and I feel strong. Awesome. So it's,
can we exchange woman for man? Because technically
yeah,
I'm not
well, you can't fit man in it. It doesn't fit with the rhythm, so you just have to be a person.
Awesome, Jerry. Very awesome. Yeah. As always.
So, after all of that, I just want to say to you guys, it's you. I mean, I only managed to come across you guys in like March, and I was already on a really brilliant path. But just to meet all of you, I mean, I've just skipped out of every other group I'm in, and I'm like full force connecting with wonderful people from this group, and I just connect completely with all of you, and I just needed to find everybody. I went through life, I started off like this, then I lost myself, and I went very sort of conformist and I sort of hopped and skipped to attention and did as I was told for a long time. And then I had that moment of waking up, and I've got to get the hell out of here. And I got out of there, and I haven't looked back, and I'm me again now. And I'm so powerful now, and thanks to all the support from all the people and all of you and your shows, and everything is just so amazing. And I'm just here to say, anybody that's stuck in a rut, you can get out. If you can get out of what I got out of, anybody can get out of anything. So, if you believe you're stuck, you're stuck. But the moment I woke up and I realized I wasn't really stuck, it was only my belief that stuck me there. I was out and I'm running.
I'm surprised to hear you've only been with us since March, because it feels like you've been here forever too.
Right, I know, it really does. And I feel like you guys are family. I mean, I've never met any of you, but I just feel so much connection. And I listened to that interview, Lisa, you did with Kelly Lachey again, and between the two of you, I just so resonate. I'm like, yes, this is so much what I believe. And it's so sort of heartening to know that I'm not just thinking stupid stuff, because it's just so real. It's just so brilliant. So I love you guys.
That was actually a great conversation for me, because I just found we were on the same page time and time again.
Well, yeah, she said I agree. I agree with you. Yes, I agree. And you're like, you said that quite a lot of times. And I was like, yeah, I agree too.
It was fun. It really was.
Brilliant. I'd love to meet her. She is just like, I love you. I should have known you or something. It's just, I've never met her. I've just heard her speak, and I'm like, she's just amazing.
Yeah. So. And there's, we're finding so many more amazing people, and we're finding the amazing within everyone.
Yes.
Right.
Coming out.
Everyone's letting their inner amazing out.
Yes. And I'm feeling free to let it out. Free, just let it go and stop holding it in. I held it in, but I don't know how. It's wonder I didn't explode, actually. I'm exploding now. Nobody believes that I didn't used to talk. I used to be kind of mute, and I used to say yes and no, and that would be about it when I was spoken to, and that was it. But nobody believes that.
I can tell you the same thing about myself. I was the same. Yeah. I was so shy.
There you go. Yeah.
I wasn't a talker.
Right.
I mean, I was one-on-one with people, but not. And the people at the Gold Coast meeting who are listening will probably find it even harder to believe, because I'd actually got up and spoke to a room full of people. But honestly, asking a stranger for the time.
Yeah. Oh.
In public,
wouldn't do any of that. Yeah. and I'd given my power away, so I just did as I was told. Hop, skip, jump, Jerry, do this, do that, shut up, Jerry. I was there. I was just this little robot that just went through the motions.
I was always a blabbermouth.
Me too.
Blabbermouth's here now.
Yeah, they'll hold you down now. That's for sure. Well, thank you for your poem, sweetie. That was gorgeous.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Jerry.
For sharing everything. Thanks for everything you do. I love you guys.
We love you too.
Love you. Bye-bye for now.
Bye.
Bye.
Wow. You gotta love a Jerry poem. Okay, we've got area code 406.
Someone's singing.
Someone's singing. Hey, 406. You singing?
Maybe it's the TV.
I think she's walked away from the computer. And she's
Hello, can you hear him?
Oh.
Yay! There you are.
I'm just going to put it on speaker. Hold on. Okay. So I thought we'd call in because we're like a 3-in-1 punch up here in Montana.
Oh, is that Katie?
This is Katie. Katie, say hi. Hi.
Okay. Is that
Katie? This is Katie Ambiflex.
Yes.
Hi, Katie.
And Patrick. Hi.
Hey, guys.
Patrick O'Donnell. Hi, guys.
How's the love fest?
Yes. How's the love fest?
Yeah.
I can really relate to a lot of what people are saying, because I have lived most of my life. I was kind of called to live the path of a hermit. And a couple years ago, I started feeling like it was time for me to come out and connect, and I tried in many ways. but it never seemed to go anywhere until I connected with this particular group and I started watching the collective imagination near the beginning. And that just seemed to be plus I recognized within myself that I had been thinking for so long that I'm such an odd person, I'm so eccentric, nobody's really going to ever understand me. And I started realizing I needed to change my self-myth, because that was getting me nowhere. So I started, telling myself that I may, in fact, be kind of an odd person out to many people, but that I was probably also very charming to many people because I'm very deep and I have a lot of wisdom. And things really changed for me as soon as I stopped telling myself that old story.
Nice. And now look where you are.
Yeah, and it's wonderful. It's just like I just can't believe that, after living for so many years a very solitary life or living around people that I just felt like I couldn't relate to, that now, every day of every week, I'm surrounded by people who love me and accept me, and we have incredible talks all the time, and we laugh our ass off, and if one of us is down, usually the other two can, step in and, help to equalize it. And it's an interesting combination of energies. Whitney came up with that. What was it that you said? That I'm the one who holds the space. Mm-hmm. And Patrick is kind of the one he's very good at conceptualizing things and articulating, kind of analyzing things. And Whitney is a spiritual healer who works with the energy within that space.
And how are these? You would get the birthday gift that you organised, where you set. I think it was for a week, where you send somebody you love and just have good thoughts for them, and like the person doesn't even know who's doing it for who. You still doing that?
Yeah. We just finally got back together just 2 days ago, and this is really with the whole group. And you know how much the energy, the shifts that happened in the last month and a half. It's been like a roller coaster.
Yeah.
And so we always find that's the perfect process when we're ready to get back together again is when we come together, because there's another couple people in our group up here, Tanya and Thane, that we're at that party as well. And we're kind of the core. I don't know anybody else really in Missoula that's not connected to me that knows too much about the OPPT. But we got together just a couple days ago to de-stress, and it looks like Tanya and Thane are now going to become roommates. So this is little Missoula, wow. Montana, and we've got soul families, and it really, we were sitting there talking, and we thought, why? Patrick actually said it out loud, and it really resonated. Why do we live separately? I don't really, I'm not really into doing a commune, but I would I really want to be close to everybody. It just makes complete sense and feels good.
That's awesome.
In my house, anyone who's been
it is
here,
a commune.
Excuse me, can you hear me?
Yeah, I said your house is a commune.
Yeah. My doors are always open. The people who are close, they never knock. They come in. They walk into and when people will say, well, that's an invasion of privacy, but I really love that openness and, the trust. When we were in Morocco, it was exactly like that. Everybody was walking in and out of each other's houses and, raiding each other's refrigerators, and there was no...
This is mine.
Yeah, there was no this is mine or whatever. It was...
And here in Montana, it's like striving for unity as opposed to separation.
I know people who will live in a neighborhood and they don't know any of their neighbors.
Yeah.
They don't even know their neighbors. And that I think is just really sad. I know.
It's so common.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
I know all of my neighbors. They've all been here in my house. I just couldn't live like that. It just feels so. I don't know. Yeah, I don't want to live like that. I'm glad that I don't, because take a step out, connect with another human being. And all of my neighbors, they're not all following OPPT. Some of them are not even spiritual, but I find that I can still have connections with them, and they genuinely enjoy being here. And I've watched all of them transform. And you don't have to say a word. Just be yourself. And you will transform people all around you. And a lot of the ones that used to ridicule you or that used to criticize you will end up being your greatest supporters because they were critical of you. Just be yourself, and and being yourself is all tied to how much you love yourself. You can't be yourself fully unless you love yourself fully, because you will always try to hide certain aspects of yourself that you don't want others to see, and it will always prevent you from fully being, and you'll never have that full power, enriching power of being. You've got to love yourself. You've got to love yourself. And it is, counterintuitive to what a lot of teachings say, that it's not good to be self-centered, but it is the only way that you can express. You can't express anything more than what you have inside. And if you have guilt and anger or resentment or judgment of self inside, it's not going to stay there.
Look at the words you just used. Self-centered. I mean, we should be self-centered.
Exactly.
But that term has been so twisted to be so derogatory. But where else are you going to be centered? Seriously. You've not within yourself.
I know for me...
Go ahead.
This last year has been so interesting. It's just like listening to Bob talk, I kind of got in touch with that still small voice, that self that is always in the on position. It never goes to sleep. It never does anything. It's just pure consciousness, and how the last year has been getting in touch with that and actually honoring it when it gives me instructions to listen. And I look at my life, and all the areas of my life in the past were so... anytime that I suffered was basically because I didn't honor that voice within. And then the last year it's become where I don't even question it anymore. If it tells me to wear a purple raincoat, fine, okay, I'll do that. And it'll probably rain. It's just one of those things where I just begin to trust, and especially now, I just look at, is my energy going to unity or separation? In everything I do, is my behavior and my stance for unity? Am I creating unity, or am I creating separation? And that's been an amazing, painful lesson to learn.
What a simple but really, really powerful question to ask yourself all the time. To just so simple, and yet profound when it comes to how it can express itself.
And just and especially with OPPT and everything, how it just really made me look at ownership, and are we trying to separate ourselves? And my background is I'm an architect, so in that I see that it's almost like from the time you're born, you're designed to actually create separation and ownership, and this is mine, and I'm separate, and everything like that. And how can I go along creating unity if that is the backdrop from which my reality is held together? And so that whole backdrop has kind of collapsed now, and it's fun to think how as individuals, we can create so much unity in how we live and how we express. And I look forward to when the time changes and we can actually create sustainable living communities that actually, you know, I guess my background of being in interior design and architecture is how do you create a community that people feel awesome about themselves when they're in it. You know, just by them being there, they feel like, I like who I am, you know, and but do it in a way that's honoring Gaia and Earth and our resources, and just coming from a space of honor. This whole journey's been, you know, we are very lucky to be able to be here, have these conversations. Yeah.
Agreed.
Could you say everything you just said, but try to be a little bit more insightful next time?
That
was awesome.
That was really awesome. It was. Thank you. Thanks, guys, for calling in. Your journey and the way that the three of you have connected and what you're doing with and for each other and those around you is just so indicative of what we talk about on these shows, and the community that's been created and the energy that's been created. And I was saying that I think Bob asked me yesterday, do you think we've reached our 3%? You know, the original intent of the show. And I was saying I don't know if it's 3% in terms of actual numbers of individuals on the planet, but the energy that has been created, I feel like, you know, the community here at 5D is this, I can see it as this big energy bubble. And that has exceeded 3%. And it is so powerful. You know, it balances out or makes up for, you know, every person with their intent and their love going into it makes up for hundreds or thousands of others who are not there, who are not in that space, who are not feeling that, who are perhaps still in the fear or, you know, really caught up in the matrix. It's so powerful. And I know you guys can all feel it.
What I would really hope, this is Katie again, is that our story could really give people encouragement and inspiration. I mean, look at me. I'm a person, I literally was kind of like a figurative cave woman for almost 3 decades. Had no human network whatsoever. And now I'm living with soul family. So I just want those of you who are feeling so alone, there is a way to do it. And the way that we did it was Whitney had a home base where we can start. So that's where we congregated. We don't know if we're going to stay here or how long. We're still living unknown. But we decided all to get together, and then from there, once you're together, the energy that you generate when you're in the same geographical area really goes up and amps your co-creative powers. And so for those of you that are feeling so alone, you know, I'm thinking maybe there's a way that we can set up some sort of template where somebody who does have a home base where a group of people could start, and then people who are not attached to where they're living, they're willing to travel and live whatever, and you just start, you know, communicating and realizing that if you share resources, and for me it was very hard. I mean, I had to live spending hardly no money for a couple months, and some of my TCI family helped with donations to get me here. And so, you know, I really would encourage people to consider, if you're feeling alone, maybe you can find people in your TCI family who you could get together with and start living together physically, geographically, because it's so awesome.
And you were.
Oh, we can vouch for the ability to manifest and create, how that amps up when you're in density with each other.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
It's phenomenal.
It happens almost instantly. Both our other counterparts, Thane and Tanya, both just left their marriages / significant others of significant time going through this shift and realized that they did not resonate. And it just so happens
bit of that going on, isn't there?
Yeah, and it's not that they're together. They're just, you know, being able to be under the same roof, and Tanya needs a roommate to help pay for rent, so it's just become perfect. And now I just want a big house, and we can all be in the big house. But really, we just want to get a big RV and go all over the nation and meet everybody.
That's what the dream of us.
Oh, you do?
Have a dream to get an RV and just to travel.
It seems like a theme.
The roads are going to get really busy out there.
Yeah, we thought we could do swap. So, like, if someone had an RV in Australia and we had our RV here, we could say, okay, well, we're gonna swap RVs. Or, Patrick came up with an idea to get like some kind of website where we start listing our houses and like, okay, we can accommodate two. Well, what if we could all have a network set up where, it just would. I can see a lot of OPPT properties. I want a vacation in the Himalayas.
Now you're talking. Hey, think bigger though. Think bigger.
That's a great idea.
The whole Earth as it. So
one big playground.
I was just gonna tell you. Well, I guess the biggest thing in me is I've been on my road to spirituality for a long time, just like everybody else has, and I went through self-help stuff, then spirituality. And if there was ever an end-of-the-world scenario, we have the best, most awesome, most fantastic end-of-the-world scenario ever. And it's not the end of the world. But you know what I mean? We have had
it's the end of the world as we know it.
As we know it, yeah.
And I feel fine.
I feel fine.
Yeah.
And I feel fine.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think it's probably close to being time to put on another song, but I want our awesome callers to finish out their thoughts because you guys rock.
We are all good. Thank you. We appreciate you from every morsel of our being.
And this is Kate. I just want to say I haven't been very active in chats because I'm still like wrapping my mind around this new change. But I want to get back to becoming more active, and I did create a secondary Facebook page that kind of documents this process that I've been going through, and I want to start, putting some stuff up on there too. So all those who have been missing me in chat, I send you lots of love and hugs and kisses, and I miss you too.
They're all saying they miss you too.
You know what I'm thinking at the moment is that maybe on the 5D Media website we have to add a forum. We have to add a community space. I think that's what we need to do so you guys can actually get... Alrighty, I'm on it. Thanks.
There's so many people that
long time.
Who was it, Jennifer?
Jennifer Williams invited us. She was probably on the call. Hi, Jennifer.
Hi, Jennifer.
Invited us down to Alabama as well. And
we're just coagulating.
Everybody just wants to be around people they can talk to.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. I just love what you guys are doing, and you're just completely going with the flow, following the energy, or the energetic trail, as we say. Being in the moment, you're embodying that. I love it.
Yeah, and what's interesting is when I look back at it, Katie was paralyzed in fear before she came here. It was interesting to watch because Whitney and I just held a space of love for her, and now she's packing up boxes and now I look at her and she's constantly smiling and happy, and we do so many things together, and it just, if anybody's out there that's at that point where they want to move on and they want to create unity with more people, take the risk, find out what you got to do, and just make it happen, because the gift that she's given us is just unbelievable. And to think that she was so scared and everything like that, and moved through it to, all we had to do was hold the space. That was easy. And what we get back from that every day is just so amazing. So,
it must be a really nice feeling to know that you've supported and participated and assisted someone to do what she's done and to go through what she's gone through.
Yeah, it was a huge, because really I have had no human network for decades at all, and so it was a real big shift for me, and I really appreciate it. And they're so loving and accepting, because I've in many ways, I feel like I'm like a babe in the woods. It's like I'm an innocent child. I'm a woman. I'm 62 years old, but I haven't experienced most of what most people have experienced. Never had a career, never was married, never had children. I've never gone to museums. I've never done what most people have done. Like we went tubing on a river. I'd never seen a river before.
Where did you live before? Where have you spent most of your life? Where were you actually living? Where did you spend most of your life?
I grew up in Minnesota, and then I lived in Nebraska for a while. But I've been living in California for about since the mid-'80s. But about 20 to 25 years ago, Spirit told me to go underground, which I did. And I just, that's all part of the story that will be told on the website that I want to create, which will be Shimale, which is my spiritual name, which was given to me in an out-of-body experience.
Well, I look forward to reading that story. It sounds fascinating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I got to tell you guys one thing, though. It's really interesting is for everything that I've gained, it's been pretty much equal to what I've had to let go of. And for me this week, I actually had to move my stuff out of a storage unit and bring it into Whitney's place. And it's really interesting to look at my stuff, and I have so many books, and because my background was in architecture, I like architecture books, and to just have to let go of that and stop letting anything that's a book or an item or whatever it is, objects, identify who I am. And literally to know that I don't need, all I need is clothes to wear and a place to sleep, and I'm good to go. And it's amazing how much stuff I've accumulated and continue to accumulate. As I look through it and let go of it, it's really kind of one of those things that's quite liberating to let go of it and just realize that it doesn't define me. It's not who I am. And if I've read the books, by God, I should be able to remember them, huh? But I have all these, it's realizing that I have all these books that, I don't dare let them go, and I've already read them, so I'm not going to read them again. I just know myself, and I won't do that. If I've read it, I got it, and I'm onward. But I have so much stuff that that I realized from a friend that told me a long, long time ago, to really be successful, it's not what you gain, it's what you're willing to let go of. And for me, this past couple of weeks has been all about that simple understanding is everything that I let go of, I'm still here. I'm still supported. I'm still loved by these beautiful women. And I don't need anything to identify myself with.
Mm.
And every time you let go of something, you create a space for something else to come in. And nature hates a vacuum. So even if you're getting rid of physical, material stuff, you're creating a space for anything to come in. It doesn't have to be replaced by other material stuff. It can be anything. I love getting rid of crap. Having a clean out, getting rid of that material stuff.
It's freaking liberating.
Bring clean.
Oh, yeah.
Big time.
Well, thanks again, guys, for calling in. We've got a few more to get through.
Okay.
Lots of love to everybody. Bye.
Bye, guys.
You too.
Bye.
Love you too.
They make me feel so good. They do. They just do. The love and the joy and the presence in their voices is just beautiful. You know what? No wonder we wing it on this show, because even when we do have a plan, it doesn't go according to plan. I'm going to bring out the next caller. It might be. I wonder if it is. Is that you, Randy?
Randy.
It's me.
Hi, Randy.
I didn't feel like it would be a anniversary show without you saying Randy.
Randy.
I like how Randy goes, it's me. That was awesome.
I did get an email or a message yesterday from someone who said every time I say Randy, they lose the plot. That's crap. I love it. So whoever that was, I can't remember, but that's for you. So how are you, darling?
I am wonderful. There's no other way to be, is there?
Wonderful.
I just want to tell you guys how much I appreciate what you've done through all these shows, and my heart goes out to each and every one of you and everybody listening. We have 17 people for our meetup, and there are probably more in the background that haven't come out yet. But I am in so much gratitude for everybody who's a part of this, because I resonated with everybody on the call tonight on where they've come from and how they've gotten where they are through these shows, and it's amazing.
It is. And your journey has inspired so many people. You do.
And I don't feel like nobody.
Sorry?
And I said, I don't feel like anybody, really, compared to some of you guys.
Oh, what?
Oh, no,
Come
what?
on. There's only one Randy in this world, really. And you got that title one, man. You make people smile just hearing your voice. You realize that, right?
Yeah. You've got people driving for 6 hours, 10 hours, 15 hours to go and see you and stay with you and meet you.
Exactly.
I live in San Diego. I can't get people to drive an hour to see me.
I doubt that, Brian. I doubt that wholeheartedly.
So, once again, everyone who didn't listen to this yesterday, there's a get-together happening on what's the weekend called in America? Labor Day weekend?
Labor Day weekend, yeah.
Labor Day weekend, the 31st and the 1st.
Yeah.
At Randy's newly acquired home.
Well, it's not going to be finished yet, but we'll do the best we can with it.
So there's campsites nearby. There's a hotel that you're pretty much taking over by the sounds of things.
Yeah.
And Linda, I know, is listening, so if she could please pop her email address into the chat room again for anybody interested in being part of the huge convoy that's going to converge on Randy over that weekend. It's in North Carolina, right?
My brother Ricky's going to be there that weekend as well.
Ah, cool. Say hi to Ricky for us. The email address is live, Live, say, SAY, 51 @yahoo.com. If you want to get in touch with Linda, who's organising this get-together. So is Ricky listening?
I don't know if he's listening tonight. I'm sure he probably is.
Well, Ricky, if you are listening, hi from all of us, and have a great time on the weekend. Somebody's gone. Maybe that's Randy.
Air tunnel or something.
More like a big wire.
Is that me?
Well, it's gone now.
Are you drying clothes, Lauren?
Okay, well, thank you, Randy. We love to hear your voice again, as always. Do you have another excerpt from your book for us?
From my what?
From the book that you love to read little excerpts out of. Do you have one for us today?
Well, what I did want to share, and I know Bob would probably like this, but in the scriptures it talks about the first being the last and the last being the first, and I feel like that may be us feeling like we were the last all these years, and now we're being the first to come through these new energies, and there's something to this. I'm not quite sure what it is right now, but I think there's something to this.
If that same sentiment is echoed in order to lead, you must first serve.
That's right.
It is an instance of really finding yourself and your true value. Sometimes you've got to go through who and what you're not in order to discover who and what you are.
Brian, I think you and I need to go and do Bible study or something so we can keep up.
We got Bob. We don't need it. We got our Bible Britannica right here live every Monday.
That's true.
Hey, I opened up my book and I do have something to share. It's amazing what I just opened up to.
Oh, please do.
It says as mankind moves forward to greater awareness, it will leave behind three basic misconceptions about the spirit which are prevalent in the world today. One is that spirit and body are separate. That is not true. The body is a fully integrated unit of love, spirit, and adamantine particles. These are inseparable aspects of the whole, and yet each is discernible in its own right.
Nice.
I like that.
Perfect. Yes. Thank you, Randy. We're getting up to the last 20 minutes of the show. So.
Love you, Randy.
Thank you, Wonder Woman.
Thank you.
You talking to Bob?
Bye. I'm not even going to touch that one. Thanks, Randy. Oh, wow.
Oh, Randy.
Okay, area code 205.
Hey, guys.
Hi.
Hey.
Can you hear me okay?
We can. Who have we got here?
This is Jennifer Williams in Birmingham, Alabama.
Hey, Jennifer.
Jennifer.
Hey,
Jennifer,
guys.
Jennifer, you just emailed me like 9 minutes ago.
I sure did. I sure did. I emailed you the same thing that I emailed to Whitney and Patrick and Katie earlier, and as well to Linda and Randy earlier. Randy. I do love the way you say Randy. So I am the person who's trying to go and see those guys up there too. And yes, I indeed invited Whitney and Patrick and Katie and whoever else wants to come and be part of the One People with me in this place that I currently steward.
Nice.
Yes, it is nice. I love you guys so much, and you guys have shown me and taught me and led me, and I've led you guys in ways that are in dream times. So thank you. And, you know, the synchronicities that have occurred in my own life after coming into contact with you guys from your trip to Morocco and everything that happened there and that's happening in my own life is really profound. It's like nothing I've ever experienced in my life. And listening to everyone else on the call tonight, I totally resonate. My life is different, obviously, than everyone else's. You know, I hear what Katie came from, and then I hear what others have come from. And, you know, we all came from whatever, as Bob was saying earlier, our experiences are that we created in order to have us learn. And I remember when I crossed that threshold of understanding with regard to the adversaries in my life. And when I saw in that flash sort of that my adversaries weren't that at all, or in their adversarialness, they were perfect, and they were showing me exactly what it was I needed to know. I remember you telling the story, Lisa, on one of the shows back in the spring about your father and your relationship to him, which was not so fun. And
it was a little tricky.
I could totally relate to that. I came from a similar situation with my own father, and I remember when I had my awakening in regards to him and this concept of adversarial aspects of people, that when I looked at him for the first time and saw him as a man instead of my scary father, And I just saw him as a fallible person. And it melted so many things in that moment that, you know, thankfully have stayed melted. And again, as we were talking, as you guys were saying earlier, about leaving the space open for other things to come in. I have this house down here in Birmingham. It's quite a cozy little rancher that I put my wedding signature on a fraudulent mortgage on about 10 years ago. And in January, with, you know, the credit score that people who care about that shit wish they could have, I just stopped. Just pulled the plug. I just said, no, I'm not going to do this anymore. And I didn't take any further action because for me, my inner voice was saying, that's enough. That's enough. You don't need to courtesy notice anybody or anything like that. I toyed with it, obviously, but I never acted on it. And I can see more and more why I didn't. It's just it wasn't my role. Everyone has their role, and it wasn't my role to do that. Mine was just to pull the plug on the beast insofar as I had a plug-in. And so I sit here with this house, and it's in really good shape. I mean, it's a nice house. It's a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom house with a full basement. And, you know, I'm one person, and the gutters need cleaning, and grass needs mowing, and it'd be great if there was a kitchen garden out front, and, you know, and so many things that one person can't do. And, you know, so far the only thing that's come to me by way of negative energy has just been phone calls and paper threats that don't have anybody's signature on them. They just say city mortgage. Sincerely, the city mortgage team. You know?
With love.
Yeah, right. And so I sit here and, you know, everyone around me, my family, you know, I'm an RN and I've, you know, worked as a nurse my whole life and done many different things in that capacity. And my family are looking at me and they just cannot believe what I've done. They think I've lost my fucking mind. You know? And I cannot convince them anything differently. I'm finding that, you know, as we were speaking earlier, it's that I can't be around anybody who's not vibrating at this energy level at this point. And so I think Patrick was saying a few minutes ago about, you know, being around the people that make you feel the way you do, or feel, not make you, just help you vibrationally to be there. And that what I've noticed is that, like, with my family, for example, that my family will try to pick a fight with me. And I can't be baited. And it's driving them crazy, and so they're becoming more and more furious. And they're not furious people. Like, they're not even those kinds of people. And so I'm witnessing all these energies going in, you know, and all these other people around me. I think Randy was just saying, you know, the aspect of the last will be first and the first will be last type thing. That makes sense to me. And I see my family in butting up against me in this regard. And it's really tough, you know. But I mean, I keep doing it. There's no way I cannot do it. And so
Brian can
I
probably
say
speak
all of that.
to that as well, quite well.
Yeah, you talking about as far as going up against button heads with what part?
Well, not just that, but getting to that place where you know, just have to walk.
Yep.
You talk and stay authentic to those. I mean, I know that people are putting a lot on the line to, whether it's houses or cars or jobs or relationships, they're putting a lot of stuff on the line here to be authentic and just not play the game. because they just can't anymore, even if it means losing the house or losing the car or losing the job.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. You realize that the biggest ingredient, the most crucial factor in all of it is that you have control over your consent. No one else does.
Right.
And it's your consent that ultimately gives your power away.
Absolutely. And really standing in that knowing it has been the most liberating thing I've ever done. And it's not easy, and I don't do it continually. Like I slip out of it. You know, there are those moments throughout the day. I think Patrick was even saying earlier about just, am I unity or am I separateness? You know, that's really, that when he said that, it struck me as well. It's like, okay, that's a very good moment-to-moment mantra. To keep me in the moment, to keep me, am I unity or am I separateness? And thank you guys for being and doing who you are and having all the conversations that you do and allowing all of us to be a part of it. Thank you.
Well, thank you for joining the conversation.
Yeah, Jennifer, big time. I'm so glad to hear your voice again. I'm excited that you get to finally go to Romania. That's what we talked about when we spoke on the phone, and you're finally actually making it happen. So you're leaving on the 8th?
Yeah.
Oh, my God. Good for you.
Mm-hmm. And it's totally,
oh my gosh.
There's a total thread with you guys' trip to Morocco, and it's typed in that thing that I just emailed you a few moments ago. Mm-hmm. And Lisa, Bob, Brian, and anybody else, you guys can share it freely. I don't care. It's her story. It's my story. It's all of our story, and of what's happening to me and why I'm going to Romania and how it connects with you guys.
Mm.
Okay,
Jennifer,
I'll make sure I read that. Thank you.
You're awesome. Kick ass out there in Romania, and email me and let me know how things are going, and keep me in the loop, because I'm going to be excited to follow along in your journey. So much love, sweetheart. Thank you so much for calling.
Thank you guys for being there, and I'll be in touch. Peace and love. I love you.
You too. You too, Jennifer.
Right back at you.
Bye.
Bye.
So she's going to go and visit all the pyramids, yeah?
She's going to go do some work with the guy that she's in contact out there in Romania. It's pretty profound. I'll forward you her email. It's Jen. Her story it's a little play on words for history. But I did a session with Jennifer, and she's just so funny and absolutely awesome. So I'll send it over to you right now.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we're down to just under 9 minutes. This has gone so fast. We've got one more caller, so we'll take that. And then area code 646. Hello, area code 646.
Uh-oh.
They've got the radio on in the background. They don't know we're actually talking to them yet.
Sounds like something I would do. 646.
We've got one more caller, so we'll take that.
They haven't.
She's about to hear it. She's about to hear it.
This is gonna be really funny. 646. Everyone in the chat room scream 646.
Hello, area code 646.
That's so weird hearing myself come back.
Yeah.
The radio on in the background. I don't know where actually talking to them yet.
Okay, we're gonna mute. That was funny. I'm sorry, 646. Didn't realize you had that much of a delay. That was a good 30 seconds.
That was funny.
Oh, okay. Guys, we were going to have a conversation in the second hour about the coming year. But, as I said, even when we have a plan, we don't tend to stick to it.
Well, I already know what Bob's plan is. Bob just wants to love everyone as much as possible.
That's it. I think Bob's actually dropped off. He's fallen asleep. He's done something.
Oh, I think he said he had to leave to use the restroom. Oh, yep, but 6:44. So maybe he's back. Maybe he's done. But okay. From my perspective, as far as the next year goes, I know what intentions that I'm setting, but I have no idea what that's going to mean as far as the life that I'm going to be living, because I feel like, when we've had conversations in the past where we've discussed the idea that there's absolutely no way we can make plans or imagine what the future is going to look like based on our existing level of consciousness, based on where we are right now. We could have said the same thing. Based on current now data. Current now data, yeah. We could have said the same thing a year ago, talking about August 6, 2013. We would have never imagined bounce back. We would have never imagined that it would have gone the way that it went. But it went absolutely perfect. So my intention for the rest of 2013 into 2014 is I set the intention to be able to connect with as many people as possible for my own personal growth and expansion, that everything that I learn, I am able to take it out in the world and empower others to learn as well, and to build unity and love and compassion and societies and build up the 5D media network in Morocco. And, man, I guess my list isn't as short as I thought it was. But because I love what Bob's response was when I asked Bob what his plans are when we get back to the States, when we were leaving Morocco, the day or 2 days before, at least before I left, and he said, I don't have a plan, because I know I don't want to work some job, and all I know is that I want to love as many people as possible. And I understood what he was saying as he was saying it. It didn't take any time for me to go back and, in retrospect, try to think back on what he meant, because I feel the exact same way. I feel like I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be. Everybody's exactly where they're supposed to be, or else you wouldn't be there. I have a friend, really close friend of mine, and he's in his late 40s or whatever, and he's like, I've got this job I don't like. I'm having to move in with roommates that I don't, and this is a very spiritual guy. I'm having to move in with roommates. I'm almost 50 years old, and I should be more accomplished by now, and this and that. And I'm thinking, you're not. I was like, by whose standards? By whose standards should you be more accomplished, than you are right now? So I think that if there's any energy that's supporting anything in this world right now, it's to help people to realize that you are exactly where you're supposed to be because you're there. You're doing exactly what you're supposed to be doing because that's what you're supposed to be doing. If you're inspired to do something different, then just do it. If you're feeling it and you're being guided to whatever doing that is, do it. I think we spend a lot of time thinking, I don't want to make a mistake. I don't want to go in the wrong direction. I want to make sure that I do the right thing to, allow me this particular opportunity. I think that we're giving ourselves too much credit to mess things up. And I think that Creator Source is, and I had a conversation with someone who I know is listening to this call right now about this very same thing today. I think that the absolute plan is in more control than our own individual agendas, and if we think that we have the power to mess that up, we're freaking kidding ourselves at this point.
Annie in the chat room just said, I don't have a plan and I'm sticking to it. I love it. That's perfect.
I want to be all I can be, all that an embodiment can be. I don't know what that means. I don't know what it looks like.
Sounds like an Army slogan.
What did you say?
The Army, be all that you can be. But in a much better and more pure fashion.
Wrong venue.
We've talked about attachments on this show quite a bit, and releasing attachments. And I was asked the other day, in all honesty, do I have any attachments? And I had to say yes, that I am attached to a state of being, that there's a feeling that I want to have all the time. That's my attachment. But I'm not attached to anything or anyone that gives me that feeling, or that produces that feeling, or leads me to that feeling. I just, whatever it looks like, whatever leads me to it. And what I found is that following the energetic trail, as we say, is what produces that feeling. When I know I'm in that energy flow, when I know it, that's when I feel expanded and I feel that feeling. in terms of, I mean, a lot of what you said, Brian, about what you want for the rest of the year and into next year is the same for me too. And it's about, I just want to expand continually. And if that's an attachment, then fine, I've got one. I don't care. But that's, yeah, I don't even know.
I don't want to care about having attachments.
Yes, neither do I. Yeah. And I really don't care what it looks like, as long as it feels good.
Bob, do you have an attachment to having attachments?
I don't think I have an attachment to attachment.
I think there's a difference between, in the last 90 seconds, there's a difference between an intention and an attachment. Like, if you intend to embody a state of bliss, happiness, love, and expansion, and that's what you want for yourself, you don't have to call that an attachment. That's more of an intention that you want to set for your highest good and your greatest growth. So more power to you if that's the case.
Well, thank you.
Yeah. Stop beating yourself up, Lisa.
And for the last few seconds, thank everyone for a great year. I look forward to the next one. I love all of you so much.
I'm just going to say ditto.
Oh, gosh, the same. So you're going to leave me with the last 30 seconds, so let's see if I can pull the rant out. I'd like to thank God for giving me this opportunity to shine.
Okay, I'm going to end the episode.
Hey, thank you, everybody. We love you so much. And this wouldn't be possible without you. We love you all unconditionally, and we look forward to creating many more amazing moments of now with everyone.
Yeah.
Much love. Namaste.
So looking forward to this next following year. Thank you. Bye.
Bye. Bye-bye.